Hello and welcome to Mr. A's Maths Today. Here's today's question. It's definitely a higher question today using bounds, speed, distance and time. When you are ready, pause the video and give it a go. Okay, so today's question is a challenging question. It's worth 5 marks. Let's have a quick read. A train travelled along a track in 110 minutes, correct to the nearest 5 minutes. Jake finds out that the track is 270 kilometres long. He assumes the track has been measured correct to the nearest 10. Could the average speed of the train be greater than 160 kilometres per hour? I'm spotting a problem already. Kilometres, minutes, hours. So I think I'm going to change before I even begin this 110 minutes to hours. To convert minutes to hours, I divide by 60. 110 divided by 60 gives me 1.83 recurring. That 3 recurs, 1.83 recurring. So this is in hours now. So I'm feeling a little bit happy. My units are consistent throughout the question. It's always worth checking that. Could the average speed of the train have been greater than 160? So these numbers have been rounded. Notice bounds. The word bounds isn't mentioned in this question at all. But you are expected to realise these numbers have been rounded. Is it possible it was greater than 160 kilometres per hour? There's something you need to remember at this point. You need to remember speed equals distance divided by time. This will be on your exam somewhere. It's probably going to be on your physics exam as well. If you're unsure about speed, distance, time, make sure you look it up, make sure you give some questions a go. Probably going to be there. Could the average speed have been greater than this? Before I begin, I'm going to calculate the upper and lower bounds for these things. So 110 minutes. Although I've done that at the beginning, I think I'm going to stick with 110. Just for now, I'll convert it back in a minute. 110 to the nearest 5, I'm going to up it by 5. I'm going to subtract 5. I'm going to pick the numbers in the middle to find the lower bound and the upper bound, 107.5, 112.5. Remember, these are minutes. My final answer is going to be in hours. So lower bound, upper bound. Going to do the same for this 270. The track being to the nearest 10, I'm going to up it by 10. Going to subtract 10. Going to find the numbers in the middle. That's my lower bound. That's my upper bound. Possibly enough to get you a mark in the exam, as this is possibly enough to get you a mark. The conversion might also get you a mark. I didn't really want to work with that 1.83 recurring because it's a bit awkward to work with rounding that to the nearest 5 minutes. So I've done it to the nearest 5 minutes now. I'm going to look, I want my speed to be as big as it can possibly be. At its biggest, is it bigger than 160 kilometres per hour? Because that will answer the question for me. To do this, I need my distance to also be as big as it can possibly be. I want to keep this whole number as big as it can be. So I want to divide the biggest possible by the lowest possible. That'll give me my final value. So my distance upper bound was 275. My time lower bound is 107.5 minutes. I don't want it in minutes, I want it in hours. Remember how we convert minutes to hours? We divide by 60. Which gives me on my trusty calculator 1.79166. The 6 recurs. So I'm going to pop this into my formula. I've used this to convert to hours. I needed to convert my minutes to hours because it's hours in the question. So I'm going to do 275 divided by my answer, which gives me 153.48871. That is my speed. That is the biggest speed this can possibly be. So the speed, just to make it a bit clearer, upper bound. You will get more room than me in the exam. This is all a bit scrunched up for my liking. I'm trying not to round at this point because I want the examiners to see exactly what value I came up with. I just need to justify my answer now. Can it have been greater? It can't be greater as the upper bound is less than 160 kilometers per hour. It's very important you put that sentence in. The working out's all well and good, and I know it's a maths exam, but we also need to use a little bit of English. Round it off with that sentence to justify your answer. Okay, part B. Jack's assumption was wrong. Silly Jack. The track was measured correct to the nearest 5. Explain how this could affect your decision in part A. Notice they're not asking me to say, and this part of the question was only worth 1 mark. And notice they're not asking me to do any calculations. They're asking me to explain how this could affect your decision in part A. You could work out what the lower bound would now be and use your speed, distance, time. But since it wants me to explain, I think I would be happy to just put this in a sentence. If we make this a little bit smaller, if we make that distance a little bit smaller and we're still dividing by the same time, that answer will only get smaller. My answer will be less. My upper bound will be less. It would make my upper bound lower. Therefore, I can use 3 dots in maths to mean therefore. Therefore, it will not be greater than 160. It still can't be greater than 160. It's going to give you a smaller number. So look out for these little questions at the end where they ask try and decide something. We don't always need the maths, particularly if it's only 1 mark and it says explain. Putting it into words is often enough. So a tough question today. I hope that made sense. If the rounding doesn't make sense, go and look at some of my earlier bounds questions. Converting minutes to hours appears on the exam very, very often. Make sure you can do that. But these are my 2 final answers. Hope that helps. Here's today's challenge question. When you're ready, pause and give the video a go. Don't forget, a maths question a day keeps those bad grades at bay. Bye for now.